Hey folks, Jamie here. Toby's not on this video because we've got all the models with me over here in the UK, ready to go to Essen. But I just wanted to make a little video for you showing off the Ursus. We've got her hips through now, and some exciting different combinations to show you. So let's get into it. The first one we have here is we'll do a couple of the dual wielding options. So with the Ursus, her arm just pops up like this, out of its socket, and then the two-handed weapons come out, and then she's got this arm here, so it pops out like that. So she's got her two arm sockets open there, and then you can just add in all these lovely different weapons. So with this one, she has a nice big axe there, and then the other one that sort of molds really nicely around the wrappings of her bicep, and so you can see there's her dual wielding axes, and then you just pop these off, and she's also got these claws, which officially we didn't get these as weapons in the game, but we thought they'd be really cool to include because they were part of our intention, but we just couldn't quite get it into the game. But thought they'd be nice and like to use, because this is the Ursus in there. When they're sort of coming up from cubs, they use these claws as sort of starting weapons, and so we thought we'd, like, from a lore perspective, it'd be cool to have the option to have these as when you're starting out. And then we have some big hammers. She carries some seriously heavy weapons, so by far probably the biggest, I think, weapon selection in terms of like the weight of the weapons. Those hammers are sort of like the size of some of the humanoid characters' two-handed weapons she's carrying in one hand. So looking pretty cool there. And then we have next probably one of my favourite configurations, which I think is these flails. I don't know what it is about the flails that just look so cool. A lot of these characters, I think you might remember the Kerr has some nice flails as well, but it's just kind of completely wrapped around by the flails there. It's the giant chains come arcing in. Now, one question that might have came up actually is, as you've been seeing some of these, it's like there's a lot of different weapons, a lot of different sizes of things. How on earth do you fit them back into the box? Because obviously when you know, if you played board games before, you know there's a lot of miniature trays that use. Obviously they tend to fit fairly snugly to the model to stop them rattling around and things like that. And so obviously in this game, what we do is we use a separate box for the Armory box. So the Armory box itself comes with a big four-way compartment that can hold any combination of the characters and with the weapons options they have. So if you have the Armory box with the game, you actually store your free company in the Armory box itself rather than store it in the game box, because it was just impossible to make a situation where every possible configuration of weapons could be stored in the miniature trays that we have for the game. So that's just an answer to a question that I think had come up a couple of times, but there she is with those flails, looking pretty sweet. Then we'll go move on to some two-handed stuff here. So the next thing is we have, what's this? Our hammers, right? So we have all the two-handers that use this arm, which I just popped off. Sorry, I'm trying to do this at distance, and it's quite difficult to do this behind a camera. So yeah, her arm comes across here, and then you see there's a little thing there, so it just pops just in there. And what this does is, you often find this in a lot of the two-handed configurations of the weapons, is the way that the arms come together actually strengthens the model even further. But as you can see, like, this is really solid. Like, you can just shake it around, and that's just using that you know, there's push fit joints there. But yeah, so there's a big hammer, and then last but definitely not least, a fairly massive scythe. That so that bit comes out there, that bit comes out there, and then I need that arm back in, don't I? That one goes there, and then Big old scythe. Yeah, you don't want to face her down a dark alley. You see, kind of lent in really heavily into the sort of the carvings that the Ursus do. That their background is that they start off basically naked, just with those claws that we showed earlier, and as they fight more and more, they kind of gain stories of kind of their hunts and the glory that they've won, and the only way they can add new armor is to earn a story that's worthy of it. So they get this sort of meteoric iron, and they carve it with their own claws into the armor, into their weapons, to tell of all the hunts and things that they've done. And she ends up being a particularly cool character, and we want to lean into that with all the carvings and things you're seeing. But this one is particularly well bedecked, though not the most. There's some seriously heavy bears out there, but yeah, she's certainly worthy of inclusion in any free company. So anyway, I hope you like seeing the armory for that, and we'll be back next month with another one. Cheers, bye bye.